Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. The Mark of the Beast. Chapter 1. The King of the South. The year was 2035. They called it the Age of Reason, but Paula knew it was the Age of Blindness. In the universities and the high towers of the Perthelite Corporation, the secular scientists reigned as the high priests of the modern world. Atheism, the prophetic king of the South, had conquered the cultural landscape. God was dead to the masses, replaced by the gospel of the spinning ball, the dogma of meaningless evolution, and the constant fear of the extraterrestrial threat. Paula, 28, sat in the back of a dimly lit coffee shop in Sector 4, her fingers trembling over a tablet. Her Asian features were illuminated by the blue light of the screen. Beside her sat Dennis, a 26-year-old black man with a quiet intensity, and Brian, 26, white, looking nervously at the door. "The density formulas don't add up," Paula whispered. "The water remains level, always. If the Earth were a spinning ball, the curvature would hide the lighthouse at 30 miles. It doesn't. It's a plane, Dennis, a stationary plane enclosed by a firmament." "Keep your voice down," Brian hissed. "You know the penalty for science denial. Social ostracization is the least of it. They'll flag your social credit score." Dennis tapped the table. "It's not just geometry, Paula. It's the setup. They've been priming us. The Perthelite Corporation, the government, they're moving assets underground. The alien threat narrative is peaking." Suddenly, the screens in the shop flickered. The news feed cut to the Perthelite CEO, a man with cold, reptilian-like eyes. "Citizens," the voice was synthetic, smooth. "Due to escalating regional conflicts and the viral outbreaks in the Southern Hemisphere, we are initiating the safety protocols." "It's starting," Dennis said, grabbing his pack. "The reset." The ground shook, not from a natural quake, but from the simultaneous detonation of strategic nuclear ordnance worldwide. The time of the end had transitioned from spiritual deception to physical destruction. The goal was simple: reduce the population to a manageable number, 500 million. Chaos erupted. The sky turned red with fire and dust. The three friends ran, not to the government shelters, but to the outskirts, watching as the cities of the old world burned. Chapter 2. The Domes of Perthelite. 10 years passed in the blink of a historical eye. The elites, having waited out the nuclear winter and the viral culling in their luxury bunkers, unleashed their drone armies. The Perthelite Corporation rebuilt the world, but not as it was. They constructed 10 massive hermetically sealed regions, each covered by a translucent high-tech dome. Life outside the domes was hard, a scavenger's existence, but inside, it was a utopia of glass and steel. Paula, Dennis, and Brian stood in the intake line for Region 7, formerly North America. They were ragged, older, hardened by a decade of survival. "We have to go in," Brian argued. "We can't survive another winter in the wastes." "We go in," Paula agreed, "but we don't drink the wine." At the processing center, a sterile white room, a drone hovered over them. "Subject, Paula, left hip, injection complete." It was a biotech implant. It wasn't the mark, not yet. It was just the leash. With it, they could buy food, access the medical bays, and rent a micro apartment. Without it, you were a ghost. They settled into the sterile hum of the city, but the political vacuum was palpable. The 10 regions were disjointed, restless. The atheistic coldness of the Perthelite rule left people hollow. They craved meaning. Then, he emerged. From the ashes of the old religious orders, the Papacy returned. The wound of 1798, where the political power of the Church had been broken, was violently healed. The Pope stepped forward not just as a religious figure, but as the stabilizer of the 10 regions. Behind him stood the False Prophet, a charismatic figure draped in modern suits, serving as the bridge between the Vatican and the Perthelite Corporation. He didn't just speak, he performed. "Behold," the False Prophet declared on the holoscreens worldwide. He raised his hand, and fire descended from the sky within the domes. "The new era of peace is here." Paula watched the screen, her stomach churning. "It's AGI," she whispered to Dennis. "Project Bluebeam technology mixed with demonic power. They're deceiving them with lying wonders." Chapter 3. The Abomination of Desolation. The peace was a facade. As the Papacy consolidated power, becoming the supreme moral and political authority, the atmosphere shifted. Paula and Dennis had been busy. They had found the old manuscripts, the King James Bibles that had been banned as hate speech. They gathered a small cell of believers in the lower levels of the city. "The earth is the Lord's," Dennis preached, his voice low but powerful. "He sits upon the circle of the earth. We are under the firmament, not drifting in a vacuum. And this system? It is the beast." They spread the 3 angels' messages. "Fear God, give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters." The system noticed. The Jesuit general, a man who moved like a shadow behind the Pope, convened with the Perthelite CEO. "The dissenters are growing," the CEO said, looking at a 3D map of the flat Earth plane. "They reject the globe model. They reject the Sunday Sabbath. They are a virus." "Then we treat them as such," the Jesuit replied. The decree went out. To unify the 10 regions, a symbol was needed. The False Prophet commanded the people of every region to build a massive statue, a golden image of the beast, the Papacy. 42 months, Paula told her group, pointing to the timeline chart she had drawn on a hidden wall. "We have 3.5 years. The Abomination is sitting in the holy place. The clock starts now." Chapter 4. The Loud Cry. For 42 months, the tyranny tightened. The statue in the center of Region 7 rose higher every day, a grotesque monument to human pride and Luciferian worship. Paula, Dennis, and Brian worked tirelessly. They were part of the resistance, but their weapons were tracts, USB drives containing the truth and the spoken word. They hacked into the Perthelite public address systems. "Babylon is fallen, is fallen!" Paula's voice rang out over the city speakers one rainy Tuesday. "Come out of her, my people!" The manhunts began. Drones swept the apartments. Believers were dragged into the street. The news labeled them terrorists of logic and flat earth fanatics. Brian was cornered in a market. He locked eyes with a peacekeeper. "Renounce the Creator," the peacekeeper demanded. "Acknowledge the supremacy of the Vicar of Christ." Brian spat blood. "There is one mediator, the man Christ Jesus." They took him away. Paula and Dennis went deeper underground. The loud cry was swelling. Despite the censorship, people were waking up. They saw the tyranny. They saw the impossibility of the globe model. They saw the evil in the Vatican's eyes. Chapter 5. The Ultimatum. The 42 months ended with a thunderclap. The statue was complete. The Papacy, feeling its grip slipping due to the resistance of the faithful, played its final card. The broadcast overrode every device in the 10 regions. The Pope, flanked by the False Prophet, looked into the camera. "The time for division is over. To ensure the prosperity of the human family, We must be of one mind. On the coming Sunday, the first day of the week, the Venerable Day of the Sun, all citizens will assemble at the image of the beast. You will bow. You will pledge your allegiance to the system and its spiritual father. The false prophet stepped forward. This is not a request. Your biometrics will record your worship. Those who refuse are enemies of the state. They will be cut off. They cannot buy. They cannot sell. They will be liquidated. The line was drawn. This is it, Dennis said, checking his gear. The mark of the beast. It's not the chip in the hip. It's the loyalty. It's the worship of the beast system. We have to leave, Paula said. Now, into the wilderness. The city is a trap. Thousands fled that night. They slipped through the drainage pipes, hacked the dome exits, and ran into the scarred, wild lands outside. But many stayed, either paralyzed by fear or in loving the comfort of the dome more than the truth of the Creator. Chapter 6. The Sealing. Sunday morning. The sun rose over the plain of the earth, its light filtering through the massive Perthelite domes. Inside, millions gathered around the golden statues. As the bells tolled, the images spoke, demanding worship to the system. The people all over the 10 regions fell to their knees. They capitulated. In their minds, the forehead, they willingly accepted the lie. By their actions, the hand, they served the beast by fear. The invisible mark of the beast settled upon them. They were owned by Lucifer. Outside, in a canyon shielded by rock, Paula and Dennis knelt on the hard ground. They were hungry, cold, and hunted, but they bowed to no man. They kept the Sabbath of the Lord. They rejected the lie. Then suddenly, a peace that surpassed understanding washed over them. The seal of God, invisible to the eye but blazing in the spiritual realm, was placed upon them. Their bread and water would be sure. They were part of the 144,000, the last day elect of God, impossible to deceive, hardened spiritual warriors who would stand through the fire. It is done, Dennis whispered. No more decisions can be made. The door is shut. Chapter 7. The Vials of Wrath. The system thought it had won. They celebrated their unity. They hunted the stragglers. Then, the mercy of God was withdrawn from the earth. The first plague. The high-tech domes of the New World shattered, exposing those inside to the raw elements under the true firmament. Revelation 8:7. There followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. Then, it started in the boardrooms of Perthelite. The CEO scratched at his arm. A boil, foul and malignant, erupted on his skin. It spread like wildfire. Every man, woman, and child who had bowed to the image screamed in agony. The sores did not heal. They oozed a stench that permeated the pristine cities. The biotech implants in their hips burned hot, reacting to the corruption of their flesh. The second plague. The trade ships navigating the oceans between the regions radioed in panic. The sea, still the lifeblood of the plain, turned into the blood of a dead man. Thick, coagulated, black-red sludge. Every living soul in the sea died. The stench of rotting marine life choked the coastlines. The third plague. Thirsty from the fever of the sores, people turned to the taps. Blood. The rivers and fountains of waters ran red. The false prophet drank from a crystal goblet, only to spit out gore. They shed the blood of saints and prophets. A voice echoed from the sanctuary in heaven. And you have given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. The fourth plague. The sun, usually tempered, flared with a supernatural intensity. It scorched men with fire. The heat within the firmament became an oven for those who had the mark. They blasphemed the name of God, cursing the sky, but they did not repent. They doubled down on their hatred of the flat earth believers, blaming them for the climate disaster. Chapter 8. The Abyss. The fifth plague. Darkness fell upon the seat of the beast. The lights in the Vatican and the Perthelite towers died, but it wasn't just physical darkness. The bottomless pit was opened, Revelation 9. From the smoke emerged things that the secular scientists had called aliens, but were truly demons. They looked like locusts, like horses prepared for battle, with faces of men and hair of women. They swarmed the cities. They did not touch the grass or the trees, nor those who had the seal of God. They sought out only those with the mark. For 5 months, the psychological and physical torture was absolute. Men sought death, but death fled from them. They tried to commit suicide, but the weapons jammed, the poisons failed. They were forced to endure the torment of their masters. They turned their anger and hatred towards the beast. Paula and Dennis, hiding in a cave, watched the darkness swirl over the distant dome. Their bread was sure, their water was clean. The locusts flew past their cave, unable to harm them. Chapter 9. The False Christ. The Sixth Plague. The great river Euphrates dried up, preparing the way for the kings of the East. The spirits of devils, working miracles, went forth to the kings of the earth. The Jesuit general and the false prophet rallied the broken, sore-covered armies of the world. "The invader is coming," they lied. "We must unite to fight the enemy from the sky." Then the ultimate deception occurred. A being of blinding light appeared over the central region. He looked like the paintings in the Vatican. He spoke with a voice like a synthesizer. He walked on the ground, healing the sores of a few, promising peace. "I am the returned one," Satan proclaimed, masquerading as Christ. "The dissidents in the wilderness are preventing my kingdom. Destroy them, and paradise is yours." The armies of the world, deceived and desperate, marched toward the wilderness. This was Armageddon. They surrounded the camps of the saints. Paula stood at the mouth of the cave. She saw the drones, the tanks, the millions of deceived souls advancing. "Do not be afraid," she told the trembling group. "This is the final test." The soldiers raised their weapons. Chapter 10. The King of Kings. The seventh plague. A great voice out of the temple of heaven, from the throne, said, "It is done!" The firmament shook. A massive earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, tore the great city into 3 parts. The cities of the nations fell, the buildings shattered, glass raining down like knives. Every island fled away. The mountains were not found. Great hail, the weight of a talent, fell from the sky, crushing the armies of the beast. Then, the sky rolled back like a scroll. The deception of the spinning ball was shattered forever. The firmament opened, and he appeared. Not the fake Messiah of the Vatican, but the true King. He rode upon the clouds of heaven. His body was like beryl, his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire. His arms and feet were like polished brass, dark and gleaming. His hair was like pure wool. The sign of the Son of Man illuminated the flat plain of the earth from east to west. It now made sense to all how every eye would see him. The wicked wailed. They called for the rocks to fall on them, to hide them from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. The false prophet and the beast were captured instantly, their power stripped by the mere glory of his presence. "Look!" Dennis shouted, tears streaming down his face. The graves exploded. From the dust of the earth, the righteous dead rose. Brian, who had died in the prison camp, burst from the ground, his body restored, immortal, shining. Paula and Dennis felt a change in their atoms. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, their mortal bodies were swallowed up by life. They lifted off the ground, defying the laws of density and buoyancy, rising to meet the Lord in the air. Below them, the armies of the beast were consumed by the brightness of his coming. The wicked were slain by the sword of his mouth. Epilogue. The Restoration. For 1,000 years, the earth lay desolate. It was a chaotic abyss, a prison for Satan, who roamed the broken, silent ruins alone, with no one to deceive. Paula, Dennis, and Brian were among those who reigned in heaven with Christ, reviewing the books of judgment, seeing the justice of God in every case. Then, the holy city, New Jerusalem, descended from God out of heaven. It touched down upon the plain. The wicked dead were resurrected, the second resurrection, to face their final judgment. Satan, seeing his army again, deceived them one last time. "I have given you life. We can take the city," he shouted. "We can take the throne." Billions of lost souls, from before the great flood to the last one who bowed to the beast, led by the generals, the dictators, the elites, the pagan scientists, and the false priests, surrounded the beloved city. But fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. It was the cleansing fire. The beast, the false prophet, Satan, and all who loved the lie were cast into the lake of fire, which is the second death. They were consumed, turning to ash, ceasing to exist eternally. The cosmos was clean. And then the Creator spoke. "Behold, I make all things new." The fire didn't just destroy, it purified. The earth was recreated. The scars of industry, the domes of Perthelite, the graves, all gone. The earth was once again a perfect, flat paradise. The tabernacle of God was now with men. The wolf dwelt with the lamb. There was no more death, neither sorrow nor crying. Paula stood by the tree of life, with the river of life running through it. She looked at Dennis and Brian. They smiled. They were at peace. And by the love and grace of God and the faith of Jesus Christ, they were home.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.